Buildrite is currently running a series called Empty Nesters Planning for Retirement. The whole series is about helping people think about those changes that they might like to make to their home and planning for their retirement years. Not everyone necessarily wants to downsize when it comes to retirement. More and more people are wanting to stay in their own homes, where they've lived for many years, created lots of happy memories, and that's where they're wanting to spend their retirement years. But now that their children are off their hands, now's the time to think about kind of what changes should we make to our home to make our homes more comfortable, more accessible for our retirement. So today we want to share with you some examples of clients that we've worked with who have gone about making changes to their homes in preparation for retirement. A project that we recently completed for a client in Strowan was an older home that the couple have lived in for many years. They've raised their family. What is it?
Yeah.
They've raised their family, brought up their children, and over the years, they've created lots of happy memories. And so in preparation for their retirement, they engaged us to have a look at their home and talk with them about the changes that they might make moving forward. So Sam, you might like to say a wee bit about the project that we did in Strowan for a couple planning for their retirement.
Yeah. So that was quite a great project, quite an enjoyable start to finish project. Actually, obviously, I won't go through to too much of the detail of the structures themselves, but essentially, the space had way too many walls that were required for the multiple spaces that it had. So with the client, they decided that they wanted to open those space up. They wanted to create flow. They wanted to create spaces that were enjoyable to live in. They suited for the time. They added the bedrooms. They required the bedrooms, but at the time of the life now, it's definitely the time to make the space their own, suitable for their requirements. So things inside of that, removals of walls, removals of bedrooms that weren't required anymore. The kids would sort of flow on the nest and whatnot. Removals of those sort of things, but also at the same time upgrading those items that they enjoy to use: kitchens, bathrooms, living spaces. That sort of started the thoughts in that one, really.
Yeah, this home was originally built in the 1920s or 30s. A typical sort of older timber bungalow where the rooms were very small. The kitchen was separated from the living areas. It only had one bathroom.
Yeah.
But now that the children are off their hands and the couple are thinking about their retirement, they are looking at changes to make their lives easier and enjoying their house kind of as they go into their retirement years. So our plan was to open up the spaces so their kitchen and living areas are more open plan. The house only had one bathroom, so we looked at a plan which involved remodeling kind of the layout of the existing house, which gave them a new master bedroom kind of with a new ensuite and walk-in wardrobe.
Yeah, also the additions of a separate wing for a guest coming to stay, sort of their own sort of, wouldn't go to a studio, but studio type of living space. Real spaces that they could utilize for their ongoing future without having to move.
As part of the new kitchen, because the house was previously quite dark, but by removing internal walls, replacing small windows with big sliding doors that open out to the beautiful courtyard at the back of the property. We also added in new skylights over the kitchen and dining area, which again brought in more natural light kind of into those spaces, which makes it so much more enjoyable. Some of the common things kind of that we often do kind of for people who are empty nesters planning for retirement, looking for changes that they can make to their home. Some of those things include wanting to increase the amount of natural light coming into their home. We do that by introducing skylights into different areas that can be over the kitchen, in the bathroom, and living areas to bring in that light and that warmth that comes with it. Cavity sliders is another option kind of that we often see, where people are thinking about accessibility and moving between different spaces. So rather than narrow doors, we often get rid of those and put in new cavity sliders that fold away into a pocket. With the cavity sliders, you can either have them open or close, which gives you the use of different spaces.
One of the other things we get a lot is bathroom questions, bathroom renovation questions about accessibility. One thing for the time of your life when you're wanting to not downsize, but to create space is you may not need that bedroom wall, for example, that bedroom wardrobe may not be quite required. So quite commonly we borrow from Peter to pay Paul. We steal a little bit of that space from other areas that isn't quite required to make the space, the bathroom, the kitchen, whatever that is, to make that bigger. What that creates is the ability to make a shower bigger, not just a 9x9 or 1x1 meter shower, a nice good size open walk-in shower. Level entry showers are becoming very more common than having a slight raised shower that can be a massive negative to people who are getting to their sort of golden years.
It's all about planning, thinking about what am I going to need in my life moving forward? What changes kind of do I need to make to my home as I move into my retirement? Buildright is a home renovation specialist, and our business is set up to work with homeowners like yourselves, thinking about changes that you want to make to your home. And we will work with you through the planning and executing of those plans for your home.